Residents of Belgian towns that were inundated in devastating floods earlier this month have not just lost their belongings or even homes. Many also need to recover from the psychological shock. NTD's Trevor Piper has the story.
Following one of the most violent natural disasters to hit Belgium in a century, the town of Troyes looked like this. But it's not just the houses and roads that need to be restored following the deadly floods 2 weeks ago. People who survived need to recover mentally too. Cindy Muki says the noise is the most difficult thing to forget.
Every time I hear a door slam, when something is about to hit the ground, it makes me jump. When he turns on the hose to rinse something, I immediately turn around. I panic, asking myself what's going on.
Her husband says he now has visions of cars floating.
It's
impressive. We have visions of cars passing. We hear the water. It's atrocious. It's a shock. It's unbelievable.
Their neighbour says she cannot sleep. She keeps reliving what happened to her. The floods trapped her and her companion in the top floor of the house for 2 days, fearing for their lives. She says she's too busy now putting her life in order to talk to a psychologist. They are among hundreds of survivors in the town experiencing symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. But recovering from that might well be more complicated than fixing an electricity line.
It's clearly a deep trauma, and that's why we think we need to set up a long-term structure for this management. For the victims who have lived through hell, it will remain forever in their bodies and minds, that's for sure.
He says his task is to identify victims who need hospital treatment and to talk with the others as much as possible. According to the town's mayor, nearly half of the population has been hit by the disaster. He says the priority is to restore normalcy as much as possible. Overall, 38 people have been killed across Belgium. Trevor Piper, NTD News.
From tomorrow, cruise liners are banned from Venice. Activists are happy, but tourist operators say the city needs the business offered by the cruise industry. NTD's John Robson has more on this.
When the first cruise ship since the pandemic set sail through the Venice lagoon last month, some were not happy. Hundreds of Venetians rallied on land and small boats to demand an end to giant liners passing through the historic city, and the government seemed to listen this time. A few weeks later, it announced a ban on cruise liners from the Venice lagoon from the 1st of August. This activist is concerned about safety and the environment, including pollution and underwater erosion.
I'm very proud. For us, it's a big victory, not a small victory.
He felt they were finally victorious in their David versus Goliath battle.
Us ordinary citizens with our little boats, simple and self-organized, against these giant ships that are not only giant in terms of size, but also in power and money.
The ban will prohibit ships weighing more than 25,000 tons from the shallow Giudecca. That's where a cruise ship collided with a dock and tourist boat, injuring 4 people in 2019. The government's move came after UNESCO threatened to put Italy on a blacklist for not banning liners from the World Heritage Site. This environmental scientist felt glad at the city's actions.
A split second after feeling relieved about that, all the other issues started coming to mind about the urgent need for a long-term solution to the problem.
The government's move ended years of political hesitation, but it put the demands of activists, residents and culture bodies above those of tour operators and port workers who just came out of lockdown.
It was a very huge blow. I felt awful. I felt I had lost the certainty of my life. We had just resumed work on June 5th, after 19 months of inactivity and 19 months without work.
Some tour operators say Venice without cruise ships will not be able to survive.
It's just crazy. I mean, from a port and from a territory that made his fortune on the port activities, on the maritime traffics, we're going to become just a little bit more than than a small marina.
Venice's councillor for tourism says the decision comes too late and is too rushed.
Because they did not listen to the city's voice, we now have a solution that could have been ready 5 years ago and which instead arrived at the last minute, after a lot of controversy that lasted years and which created huge difficulties for the workers, who have lost their jobs overnight.
The government now plans to build a terminal outside the lagoon for large passenger vessels. Joanne Robson, NTD News.
Jean-Louis Constance's son is wheelchair-bound and wanted to walk. So, the French engineer created a robot exoskeleton. And now his invention is making a difference to the lives of other people with disability. NTD's Joy Duguid has the story.
Robot, stand up.
16-year-old Oscar Constanza gives the order, and slowly but surely a large frame strapped to his body lifts him up and he starts walking. Oscar has a genetic neurological condition that means his nerves do not send enough signals to his legs. But with the exoskeleton made by his father, he can walk across the room and turn around.
It's new for me because before, to walk, I've always had assistance, and now I no longer need assistance, so I feel independent.
The exoskeleton is an outer frame that supports but also simulates body movement. It is made by Wondercraft. Oscar's father, Jean-Louis, is one of the founders of the company. He and another founder have family members in wheelchairs.
For me, it's my son Oscar, and one day he said to me, "Dad, you're a robotics engineer. Why don't you make a robot that will help me to walk?"
Constanza says it's important for human beings to be upright, and an exoskeleton can help people with disability look at others at eye level. 33-year-old Kevin Piet lost the ability to walk in a bike accident 10 years ago. He tries the exoskeleton and walks around his flat, remote control in his hand.
It's an extremely pleasant sensation. I feel like I'm in a high position. I can look at people eye to eye, when usually I'm below them, so that's very comfortable.
Constanza says Wondercraft's exoskeleton has been sold to dozens of hospitals in France, Luxembourg and the United States for about £130,000 apiece. But it's not for everyday use. Wondercraft is working on much lighter personal exoskeletons. Joy Duguid, NTD News.
And in other news, Simon Woodhead has gone from working in the high-speed mechanical world of Formula One racing to being among nature in producing award-winning English wine. NTD's Neil Woodrow drops by the vineyard.
Simon Woodhead has been producing wine in the South Downs National Park for a decade, going from barren slopes to award-winning wines.
Here in the south of England, in an historical hamlet in West Sussex, Woodhead established Stopham Vineyard in 2007. Previously, he worked as an engineer for Team McLaren in Formula One racing, designing automotive sensors. In the early 2000s, he moved to Spain, and it was there he became attracted to winemaking. In 2004, he decided he wanted to study winemaking and production, and so enrolled on a course in the UK, and says it was a stroke of fate how he ended up setting the business up in Stopham.
Well, I was doing the course at Plumpton Agricultural College near Brighton, and we were just at that time we were studying vineyard establishment. You know, what do you need to establish a vineyard? You need a nice slope, a low altitude, pointing to the sun. You know, free draining soil. And I came here for a party, and saw the fields and thought, yeah, this is it.
The slope is more important for vineyards in England compared to France or Germany, as we are further away from the sun. The vines need maximum sun on the fruit. Currently, they are doing what's called canopy management, de-leafing to improve the amount of sun reaching the fruit and to concentrate the energy into them too. It takes 3 years from the initial planting of the vines before the maiden harvest of the grapes can take place. Simon tells me you need passion and dedication to drive through hard times, which normally come through the weather.
Well, some years have been great. 2018 was perfect, but this year was pretty rough. You know, during growing, when they started growing in April, we had many frosts. Then we had torrential rain that went on to Germany, actually. And we lost quite a lot, so we're sort of down 50–60%. Still, we got 40% of total crop.
He says they are generally achieving 60 to 65% of a full crop. He tells me about the wines they're producing.
Yeah, such as Pinot varieties, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay. We make sort of white wine and sparkling wine. And, you know, they benefit from a cooler climate.
The grapes are normally harvested around October in England and they bottle late spring, early summer. I put it to Simon that some say English wine is expensive.
Well, it used to be. I don't think it's that expensive anymore. It's sort of par with champagne, sparkling wine, the same sort of par. Still, wine's perhaps a little bit more expensive. But, you know, we are using, as the French call, noble vine varieties that don't have huge clusters. So it costs more to make wine here. So yes, it's a few pounds more perhaps for the still wine, but nothing serious.
Their sparkling wine is made in the traditional or classic method like champagne. And what about the taste of their wines?
Well, the cool climate, I mean, you know, is really beneficial to our wine. You know, the long ripening period, we get all sorts of flavours, so you know, it can be more flavoursome.
The wines are slowly fermented for 4 to 6 weeks in these stainless steel containers that help build and preserve the fruit flavours. They have a team of 5 covering 21,000 vines over 6 hectares. Simon says that there is a growing interest surrounding the business.
Yeah, we've really noticed an interest in local products and in English wine, in our wine. And people are surprised how good it is. So yes, I can see a lot of other people thinking about planting, because you know it's great growing something, producing a fruit and making a product that everyone loves.
Stopham Vineyard has won the Independent English Wine Awards for the best English still wine for the last 3 years. On the label you'll see the 200-year-old Mediterranean pine that sits among the vines. A recent report by Vinescapes Consultancy says that the South Downs National Park has plentiful opportunity for further viticulture development. Currently only around 0.4% of farmland is used for vineyards, but 34% could be suitable. In Stopham Vineyard's case, the soil was unsuitable for crop growing, but great for vines.
Wines produced in England are gaining in popularity. You can find them in some Michelin-star restaurants. Neil Woodrow, NTD News, South Downs National Park.
That's the news for today, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Stu DeLeese. Thank you for watching our daily news show on YouTube. You can also watch our other programming on channel 190 on Sky TV or on Freeview via channel box on channel 271. In the meantime though, please give this video a like and hit subscribe to our channel. Have a good day.